Welcome to Livestock Products Technology channel. Today we have a topic on making meatballs. So meatball is a very popular meat product. We can call it comminuted meat product. Earlier, I have made a special lecture on making a meat batter. That batter only will be used for making meatball. Even we have discussed about making sausages, for which also we need to make batter. So for making meatballs, it can be in a small scale without much machineries, or it can be in a large scale for a big industry. So both the aspect will be covered in this lecture. I will mention about bigger machines like bandsaw for cutting the frozen meat, and then mincer for grinding, and then bowl chopper for making the emulsion. But all these operations can be done in a small scale with ordinary mincer and home mixer, or a little bit bigger food processor also. So we can get a coarse batter and make the balls manually, and then we can cook it in water or frying. First, let us see the recipe or formulation. In this table, we can see the common formulation for most of the comminuted meat products like sausages, nuggets, patties or balls. But this recipe will be partially modified for different products and as per the other necessities. So here we can see the meat is 85% and fat or vegetable oil is 15%. So these together it makes 100. So if we take 850 gram meat, we need to take 150 ml or gram fat, and that makes 1 kg. So we can have a minimum batch of 10 kg. In that case, we should have 8.5 kg meat and 1.5 kg fat or oil. Now in addition, we need to have other ingredients like salt 1.75%, which makes 17.5 gram for 1 kg, sugar 1%, alkaline phosphate 0.4%, dry spice mix. It contains many things together, that is 1.5%, which will have like the aniseed or the garam masala and like cinnamon, cardamom and turmeric, many all such things. And then in addition we can have chili powder 0.25%, that is generally Kashmiri chili powder we prefer, which gives red color, nice, attractive. And then ginger powder 0.25%. Then green condiments, which contains mainly onion and garlic paste 3%, maida as binder, we can take many other thing as binder, and chilled water around 12%. Here we can see all the ingredients for making the sausage batter or meat batter or emulsion at a glance. So main thing is the minced meat. In addition, we need to have the curing ingredients mixed together, that is salt, sugar and phosphate. We have green condiments like onion and garlic paste. We have the oil, we have the maida as binder, and we have the spice mixes, which includes the the Kashmiri chili powder and the dry ginger, and we have the chilled ice or broken ice, which is used for as a added water and also for cooling the machine. Here I will explain the flow of operation. So first we should have the frozen meat, and then in case of small scale operation like 5 to 10 kg, we can thaw the meat partially and separate them with the help of a knife. But in case of industrial operation in large scale or regular operations, we need not go for thawing. We can cut the frozen meat by using the meat cutting band saw. In case of small scale, after separating the frozen meat into pieces, we have to place it into the mincing machine or meat mincer. So that makes the small particles, and after that it will be placed into the bowl chopper for further cutting or further fine cutting and mixing with other ingredients. So in continuation about the flow of operation for making meatballs, the minced or ground meat is kept in bowl chopper. Over that we have to add salt, sugar, phosphate and ice flakes, and then we have to run the machine first in slow speed and then in high speed. In case of chicken meat it can be 1 or 1.5 minutes, and in case of other red meat or meat from the old animals we can do the chopping at high speed up to 2 or 3 minutes. So this will help in extracting the salt soluble proteins and makes a slurry semi solid matrix. Now we can add the fat or vegetable oil to mix and make a emulsion or a kind of basic batter. Over that, the onion, garlic or other seasoning agents are added and binders and spices are added, and then we can get a batter. Now this batter can be formed into round balls. If it is in a small scale or in household level, it can be done with the hands, and in a industrial level there are automatic ball forming machines. After this it can go for cooking and packing. So cooking can be done by boiling water or by frying deep fat oil, or we can do it in a cooking oven also. So all these things we are going to discuss step by step. This is the first machine I am going to show. This is called meat cutting band saw. It is almost similar like the saw used in sawmill for wood slicing. So this machine is used for cutting the sheep, goat or pig or beef carcasses, to cut them, especially in sheep, goat and pig, and in other big cuts from the beef can be cut. This is useful for cutting the meat with bones and making the large cuts, and this is also useful for cutting the frozen meat. So in the next video we are going to see a machine under operation supplied from the Dadox. This particular machine is from KT. There are several other companies. Here is the another machine, we can call it meat cutter or meat shredder. Here this machine is used for shredding the frozen large bulk of meat, the large packets of frozen meat which can be shredded into pieces. Then this can be used either for mincing purposes or it can be used for making the restructured meat products. We are going to see a video next about the operation of this meat cutter machine. Here we can see a meat mincer in working condition. So the frozen meat, in case of small scale they are separated with knife. In case of large scale they are cut with the meat cutting band saw or another different kind of machines for slicing the frozen meat. After that they are placed into the mincer for grinding. Now we will see about meat mincer or meat grinder. This particular machine is very common and important for making comminuted meat products. So comminuted meat products means they are first grinded and then they are made into emulsion or sometime coarse emulsion. So this machine is one of the essential requirement. This is coming in different shape and size prepared by many companies. In this picture we are seeing a machine prepared from the Mandal in Germany. Most of the European countries there are very good machines of meat mincing. We are going to see the video of some such machines. Here we can see that minced meat or ground meat, after mincing they are placed into the bowl chopper. As I told earlier, first the minced meat is kept in the bowl chopper, then the curing ingredients like salt, sugar, phosphate and the chilled ice is placed over it, and then the machine is run for chopping. So which is shown in several other steps into the subsequent part of this. Here we can see that the curing ingredients, that is salt, sugar and phosphate, is being added over the minced meat into the bowl chopper. We can see that the blades in the vertically, which plays important role for fine cutting of the meat. Here we can see that ice chilled water or broken ice is added over the minced meat in the bowl chopper, where already the curing ingredients are added, and after this the machine first started with slow speed and then at high speed, and at this high speed we need to chop it for 1 to 2 minutes. In case of broiler meat is 1 minute is enough. In case of red meat it can be 2 to 3 minutes to extract the proteins from the meat, as I have explained earlier. Here we can see that after the first phase of extraction of protein and making the slurry, the oil is being added into the bowl chopper in a slow speed, and slowly the oil will be captured by this slurry, and we have to run it at high speed for about 30 seconds. But sometime if the quantity is more, or in case of red meat we can go up to 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. So in this process the oil will be captured by the emulsion, that is the continuous phase will capture this oil and it makes a oil in water type of emulsion. Here we can see the additives that is added in the third phase. In the first phase the proteins are extracted with curing ingredients and chilled water to get a slurry. In the second phase, the fat or oil is mixed to get the meat emulsion. And in the third phase, different additives can be added like green condiments, dry spices and binder. So you can see in the picture. So in the third phase, all these additives are added one by one. So first the green condiments are added by running the machine at a slow speed, and then the binder is added at a slow speed, and then the spice mix is added at a slow speed. So altogether all these three ingredients can be added first, and then we can run the machine at a high speed. So in case of broiler meat around 15 seconds should be enough, Whereas in case of other red meat, we can run it for 30 seconds to 1 minute to thoroughly mix everything and finally to get a batter. So here we can see the final batter or the meat emulsion. This is obtained from the bowl chopper, which is a very fine cutting machine. So it makes a very smooth fine emulsion. Whereas we can do it as a coarse emulsion by using the mixer grinder or a home food processor, which will be little coarse, but still it is enough to make small scale or household level meatballs. Here is another one for making meatballs. So I don't have the exact machine here, but the steps and procedures are similar. So first the mincing, then bowl chopper, then batter is made, and this batter is fed into this kind of machine where it will give the mold in which automatically it will dispense the round balls. Then these balls goes through the automatic frying line, and after frying it will be ready for packaging. So this is the automatic meatball making system. Now after forming the meatballs, it has to go for cooking. This cooking can be done in boiling water. Nowadays there is mechanized system, you can see in this photograph, where directly it get formation and falling into the hot water for cooking. Whereas in case of small scale, after making manually, it is better for chilling for some time, and then we can put it in boiling water, or we can cook it by frying in deep frying method. Even it can be cooked in hot air oven. So now we are at the end of today's lecture. Today we have discussed briefly about the making of meatballs either at small scale or household level, and also at industrial level. So the first initial part is getting the frozen meat, cutting into pieces and grinding by mincing, and followed by bowl chopper where a batter is prepared, which we call meat emulsion. In case of small scale or household level, we can do both mincing, grinding and mixing with a mixer grinder or food processor. Finally, we may get a little coarse batter. Now this batter is made into balls by hand and can be cooked in oven or oil frying or in boiling water. Whereas in case of industry, there is a automatic forming machine. After that, directly it can go for cooking. Sometimes there is continuous fryer where the machine makes the molds and directly it goes for frying. So with this, hope it will be very useful for learning, both for entrepreneurs and for the students. Thank you.